And moments ago, I also signed an executive order to dramatically increase production of critical minerals and rare earths. It's a big thing.
Trump has just declared war. He's just thrown down the gauntlet. This is a big fat middle finger to liberals and neocons, and I love every part of it. Oh, this time it's not the war they want, of course. This time it's not the kind of war where the liberal media or the neocons were hoping for. It's not the boots on the ground kind. It's not the missiles in the air kind. It's not the people dying kind, which is something they love. It's not their fantasy of a hot war with China. No, this is a different kind of war, one that actually benefits America this time. So we'll get into all of this breaking news here in a second. But first, Donald Trump is officially invoking wartime powers to undo decades of economic sabotage inflicted by the Clinton-Biden globalist machine. He's declaring war on the resource collapse in the United States, the total gutting of American industry, the outsourcing of our critical minerals, the handover of our energy security to the Chinese Communist Party. And oh, by the way, Trump is pissed. Trump has seen these numbers and he is pissed. How the hell did Clinton, Obama, and Biden screw over the United States to the degree that they did? Heck, I'm pissed. Every American should be pissed. This isn't some symbolic executive order. Trump is using the full weight of the presidency to launch a total economic offensive against China's grip on the global mineral supply chain and to expose the traitors at home who allowed it all to happen. These traitors outsourced America and got rich off of it. So just to bring you up to speed, Friday afternoon, Trump signed a sweeping new executive order that I think is one of the biggest of his presidency so far. It's titled, quote, "Immediate Measures to Increase American Mineral Production." But it's not just a memo, it's a wartime mobilization. Yes, we are at war, a direct invocation of the Defense Production Act, the same set of emergency powers used in World War II to transform the U.S. economy. Remember, during World War II, entire production facilities were transformed to start producing tanks and weapons and bullets to fight Japan and the Nazis. Now Trump is doing the same thing to take on China's mineral production, the very mineral production that we outsourced to them. So Trump declared the situation a national emergency, saying, quote, "The United States can no longer depend on foreign adversaries to fuel our economy, our energy grid, our military." This is how presidents talk when they're preparing for war. And make no mistake about it, this is a war. Not against a foreign country with tanks and planes, but against a system. Okay? The Obama, Clinton, Biden globalist system. This has hollowed out America from the inside out. They are traitors, and they turned the keys over to China. Here are some brutal numbers for you, okay? Over 80% of America's refining capacity for critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, and rare earth elements, the stuff we need for EVs, for satellites, for missile systems, is now controlled by China. That didn't happen by accident, by the way. That was liberal policy. This was intentional. That was the result of Democrats shutting down our minds, piling on regulations, cozying up to the Chinese Communist Party. Remember the millions that the Biden crime family made from China? Yeah.
President Biden has claimed since the 2020 election that his family has not received money from China. That was a lie in 2020, and he continues to lie to the American people now. The Bidens have received millions of dollars from China.
I remember that too. Bill Clinton started it all. Barack Obama doubled down, and Joe Biden put it in overdrive. And now Trump is saying, no more, this is war. Of course, the corrupt mainstream press couldn't stand it. Instead of reporting the biggest energy independence push in modern history, bringing America First energy policy back to the United States, no, the shitty New York Times literally fabricated a story about the Pentagon leaking secret war plans against China with Elon Musk and satellites. What? You can't make this up. Yes, saying that Trump is planning to go to war against China and Elon Musk was given the tip-off about the whole thing. Trump didn't waste a second. He went live from the Oval Office and he destroyed the New York Times.
But if you read what's out of the New York Times, it's such a dishonest newspaper. It's such garbage. It's, it used to be called all the news that's fit to print. Well, it's all the news that's not fit to print. But this was a made-up story by the New York Times. I call it the failing. It's a failing newspaper. It's failing. And they shouldn't do that. They really are the enemy of the people.
But the media doesn't want peace. They don't want supply chains. They don't even want solutions. They want conflict, the kind that they can sell. Now, you'll recall on Meet the Press with Chuck Todd, that little doofus, NBC actually ran a full tabletop simulation of the United States going to war with China in the next few years. They gleefully used maps and generals and scenarios, getting all ready for war, like preparing the American people.
Today, we have a unique and special episode. This is a war game that takes a look at how the United States might react if China were to invade Taiwan. And we wanted to know more about these war games. What do they look like? How do they unfold? What would it take to win, especially in this moment we're in and what's happening in Ukraine? So to find out, we worked with the Gaming Lab at the Center for a New American Security, CNAS. This is a think tank that specializes in national security. CNAS convened 2 teams to fight it out here in our Washington studio. The blue team, a group of defense experts, and the red team, China experts.
Can you imagine? NBC is preparing us? Who asked for that? Liberals did. Liberals and neocons planned that. That's why the media, who's in cahoots with all of them, got together and put together this little tabletop exercise. Yeah, we're going to war with China. Basically priming the American public for another manufactured war, just like Iraq, just like Afghanistan, only this time with nukes and hypersonic missiles, and the United States wouldn't survive. So the New York Times, the neocons, the liberal warmongers, they all want a kinetic war, a hot war, one that enriches defense contractors and distracts from their failures. And then here comes Trump, kicking their war fantasies to the curb and saying, no, let's actually fight the war that matters, an economic war that puts America first. Let's stop the actual fighting. But let's really get into the weeds here with some of these numbers. This is pretty shocking. According to the BBC, over 70% of the world's lithium is processed in China. More than 90% of rare earth elements used in jet fighters, radar systems, electric vehicles, smartphones are all refined in China. And in 1995, the United States led the world in rare earth production. But by 2010, after Obama and Clinton and Biden have gotten their hands in it, we're nearly importing all of it from Beijing. Why? Because the liberals running Washington decided that mining was bad. Environmentalists said mining was bad.
How dare you?
Liberals said energy independence was bad.
How dare you?
Self-reliance was bad. We need a global borderless energy system. A great reset. What a bunch of morons. So they shut it all down. They let China dominate the future. Now Trump's response? Use the Defense Production Act to rip it all back. So President Trump's wartime order unleashes a number of things. Emergency mining permits, okay? Billions in federal funding for refining plants, fast-tracked environmental reviews, tax breaks for companies that relocate supply chains from China back to the United States. This is what real leadership looks like, not press conferences, but actual wartime mobilization right now. This is why neocons are panicking right now, why the left is melting down, because Trump's war is real. It threatens all of their profit centers. It threatens their fake climate crusade.
How dare you?
It threatens their alliance with China, because Trump is doing something no one else would do right now. He's treating our mineral dependency like a national security threat. He's using wartime emergency powers to bring those resources back, and he's not apologizing for it. So while the New York Times invents lies and the Pentagon war gamers drool over fake China invasions, Trump is actually fighting the real war, the war that matters. Not a war of destruction, but a war of restoration, restoring our resources, restoring our industry, restoring our power. And if you think the elites are scared now, just wait until the drilling starts. Here's the hard truth. Our government is not responsible for your retirement. You are. With over $1 trillion in interest payments, the government is borrowing money just to pay the interest. This isn't going to change. The financial system is under a pressure that it cannot sustain. Trust me, I have high hopes for Trump and America, I sure do. But if you think someone else is going to step in and secure your retirement, you're living in a dangerous fantasy world. You have to take control. You have to get educated. You have to be prepared. Because if you don't, you will face the consequences. This isn't just about fear, it's about reality. If you're not making moves to protect and prepare yourself, you're leaving your retirement to chance. Hope isn't a strategy, it's time to act, and it's time to get educated. So if you don't already know about a self-directed IRA, I strongly recommend you call my friends at Lear Capital to learn more. Here's their phone number on your screen, 1-800-450-1008, or go to learmorris.com. There's no obligation, just free information. A self-directed IRA is the savings protection of choice for those seeking greater control over their investments during this unprecedented age of debt. I have a self-directed IRA and I love it because it allows me to invest my hard-earned retirement into my assets of choice, not something that Wall Street controls. I can invest in hard assets like physical gold and silver and real estate. And Lear specializes in helping people like me and you protect and grow retirement savings with physical precious metals. They've been doing this for almost 30 years. They know their stuff. So give Lear a call today. It's easy to open your account or roll over your existing IRA or your 401k. They do it all for you. And the best part, it's tax-free and penalty-free. So call 1-800-450-1008. That's 1-800-450-1008, or go to learmorris.com. You'll be glad you did.